What's going on, guys, ladies and gentlemen, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Appreciate you guys. We'll get ready to review AMC here in just a second. Looks like I spelled the word next wrong. Not surprising. Alrighty, so yesterday we had talked about AMC, really just giving updates on the prices and where we thought it was going to go to. So yesterday, the recommendation was to watch AMC bearish all the way down to these two red lines and then look for the stock to bounce as the market got to kind of these two red lines and to the bottom. So we went for the bounce and then we ended up gapping down today kind of through that support. So not surprised we're seeing a bearish move on AMC this morning. We'll continue with this here in just a little bit. We'll probably end up reviewing AMC as we get towards the end of the stream for a couple more people, but for those that are on right now, the best way I could probably explain this again is we went bearish down to the price target. So this was the support level for yesterday. So we come down, we try to bounce, we then come back down, fade down, and then gap below that level today. So this is going to be your resistance zone most likely. Probably slightly different when the market updates at open. Those levels will change a little bit. But this was your support from yesterday, so now this is your resistance. You can see we dropped below. We kind of did like a bearish pennant flag, something, whatever you want to call it, swung lower. This red level that we're starting to bounce is from a previous wick from a long time ago that I'm kind of expecting is going to fail and we'll continue through it. Not quite sure though. But at the end of the day, this is going to be the downside target / support for me for today. So I'm expecting there's a good chance we can see AMC all the way down to this green level, and then that's where you're going to have a better bounce. So the same way we went about predicting this bounce yesterday at those prices is the same thing we're doing for this one. Doesn't mean that it's going to go there, just means that this green level is a very low risk opportunity for a bounce trade. So if you look at the volume from yesterday, you'll notice that all of the extreme buying volume came in yesterday when we got down to that red level. If we go and look at all the extreme buying, right, red buying, sure, but as soon as we got down to that red line, you'll see that we went from red instantly back to green with a relative volume buy spike. So we kind of know that the price down to, what is it? 1 second, let me go over. Yeah, so the price down to, I think it was 34, 35-ish, 36-ish. Is more of a low risk bounce zone. So ideally the market is positioned the same way it was yesterday, and that is either down to the better support for a bounce, or the bulls have to magically trend this market all the way back up and get above these red levels here to shift momentum, but I just really don't see that happening. All right, so with the way the market looks on the long-term chart, okay, basically looking for AMC to go all the way down to this 36 mark. So that's basically what we're looking for, is the market to trend down to the long-term regression trend, and then that's where we're going to get our next sort of bounce in the market. Okay. Oh, man. Yeah, we can talk about neg. We'll definitely be getting over to that one. So NEGG. So this one is something that blew up yesterday. I'm not even really certain of the news myself. I read a couple pieces of it yesterday. Oh yeah, offers on demand PC assembly. I remember that one. Custom PC building. So nonetheless, has a lot of momentum. There isn't really any sort of indicator that's flashing the sell signal right now, but you are over the blue line, so I have to recommend it's not good to have ownership over this price. So I would assume bearish, maybe a little more up. But again, the best way for me to explain this is anytime we're over the blue, overbought market, pretty risky to have ownership when they explode over the blue mark like that. So today, kind of watching this a little bit on the bear side to see if we pull back, but I don't expect we're going to crash. I could be wrong. It's a lot of crazy momentum that I don't typically trade into. When things blow up this much, I'm usually not the one that goes in rushing to trade them as often these days. So the first thing I was watching for was to see if the market would break below this red line. That was one of them. But even still, there's not a ton of selling pressure here. So part of me feels that this NEGG is going to give you more of a slow, grindy, kind of choppy and confusing day as opposed to a very easy trending day. So I think it's going to be a challenging day on NEGG. Blue is 3. Should you buy SPY calls? So that would actually be a good thing to cover right now. So, well, actually, let's go to the Nasdaq. I like it better. So anyways, the Nasdaq just kind of got hit yesterday, whatever you want to associate it with, whether the market's been on a good run, whether it's the news from the Fed, yada, yada, so on and so forth. So with that being said, I don't really have support on the Nasdaq down until we get to 350 to 349. Now, I don't even really think we're going to go there. That's a pretty big move down. It's possible because right now, the price target I just suggested is kind of in the realm of possibility today. So this is sort of a good low-risk reversal point down at 350 to 349. But it just kind of seems like a stretch to get the market all the way down there. I don't quite think that's going to happen today. Part of the reason I don't expect the market's going to go down to that price today is because we're right on the 9-day moving average, which a lot of times is a good support in an uptrending market. So for right now, the market's been respecting the 9-day moving average going up. We just got to it again. So what I'd first watch for before trying to make some hero call of the market, dropping another 600 points or something would be to look to see if the Nasdaq supports its 9-day moving average today and or going into tomorrow. And if it can't, then we might be going for more of a corrective dip down towards the mean. You can see blue line, that blue jagged line, that's the 9-day moving average. Held, pulled back, held, pulled back, held. We're pulling back now. Do we hold or do we fail to hold this time, correct down to the mean, and then bounce at 350 to 349 on the NASDAQ? I believe tech might be leading a portion of the sell-off to a degree. When we look at the SPY has significantly further to go down than the NASDAQ, so I'm kind of thinking the NASDAQ's kind of leading this move right now as opposed to the SPY. But you can see for like the longest time, we've been going through corrections in the SPY and pulling back up. So I don't think we're quite ready to bounce just yet. I think you should be watching for bearish moves still before being big time bullish on this dip. Oh yeah, so SUNW, yeah, we could touch on that one. So remember yesterday I mentioned I think there's still some more, yesterday was, this is the price action trend, and if we break the price action trend, we should go down to pretty much these red lines right here. So, yeah. Did we get the, this morning the gap down's pretty much there. Yeah. So, anyways, SUNW has pretty much retraced all the way down back to the trending level that we expected it would get to once it broke this, this price action trend. So now I believe we're going to be coming into a bounce pretty soon with SUNW here. So now this downtrending move's probably pretty close to stopping, and we're probably getting close to a little bounce. Whether or not that bounce reverses and blows up, probably not going to happen. Probably going to look something similar to like this bounce back here or this one here, and then we'll see if it picks up again. So pretty close to bouncing a little bit on SUNW. Also, a reason SUNW has been performing pretty poorly is if you look at its counterpart BLNK2, BLNK hit its mean, this is going down. But if you look at where BLNK's at, look at where it went to the white line, sold all the way back down to the yellow line. So BLNK is right around the corner from bouncing off trending support. Thus, that would add sympathy to SUNW to start bouncing as well. And if we go look at the stock Plug Power I think is pretty much the exact same too, or very close. It's a little bit worse. So Plug Power, not as good of an uptrend as BLNK, rolling over, blah, blah, blah. But you can see this is still coming down towards that yellow line. So as BLNK and Plug get down towards the -1 deviation, so does SUNW, and they're all probably going to have a little mini bounce here close or soon around the -1 deviation mark. So anyways, SUNW is soon to bounce a little bit, but I don't think it's going to be a very big bounce. Could you check Nvidia puts on Tesla? So I still think Tesla actually has some downside, right? So you guys will know that I was optimistic on us getting up to 725, then 715, and then I said it's a no-go. So pretty much this is the way this went. So when Tesla was trading back here, we recommended price targets of 700 to 720. We hit the 700 price target, couldn't get to the 720, then it became 715, and then it broke kind of this consolidation, and we said no longer is it a long, it's going to go down towards these red lines. That's where you'd look for a dip buy to hold the pullback and push the market back up. You can see that support level end up failing too. So now this is a situation where, and also the market's trading bearish right now too, so that's not good. So this is a situation where we don't really have support on this market for Tesla until 614 to 590. 614 to 590 is now the long zone for me. So on the way down, I don't really care to be extremely long biased unless we're tagging kind of these levels. So for right now, yeah, I do think you could be optimistically bearish on Tesla, but only for a little bit more down. The bearish move started around here. I thought we were going to go to 720 and then I was going to get bearish. So I wanted to get bearish on Tesla at 720 and or 715. We never got there. We only got to 700 and then the bearish move started. So I didn't get into it. Now I think this bearish move, the goal of this bearish move was to get down to 614 to 589. So if anybody betting bearish and or shorting Tesla wanted to go down to the prices of 614 to 590, then they would start to cover their short positions at 614 to 590, which inevitably would create buying pressure, hence why I would expect this to be sort of the long position marks for right now. And then on Nvidia, however you want to say it, so Nvidia, that's been going up. It just got to +2 deviations and the market pulled back, so it's seeing resistance. Again, anything that's gapped down today is most likely going to stay bearish if the overall market, QQQ, Nasdaq, NQ, /NQ, if you look at the futures, is going to go lower as long as the market goes lower today. So for me on Nvidia, it would be pretty much only bullish, only long bias if the market is coming back up and kind of break. Well, you could be long bias on a dip back up too. That's fine. But don't expect a big breakout move unless the price of Nvidia is actually going back up over 796.78. 796.78 is currently your intermediate resistance, and let me just delete these drawings. There's kind of a lot going on. Okay, so you have this here, so that's probably your support for right now, and then the 4-hour is and then the 4-hour is your resistance. Okay, so let's go back to the daily chart. You see this daily chart dotted line Nvidia. And then we're going to go to the 4-hour chart. You see that dotted line on Nvidia there. That's creating that price zone. So when you go look at it on pre-market, you will notice that this is currently the support. That's currently the resistance. You should only expect kind of a bigger breaking up move if you can get Nvidia back up and over 797, 798, which I don't really think is going to happen. And the only way that probably happens is if the market has a good day. If the market's bearish, this is going to go bearish. So one of the potential entry points for this is going to be a short as the momentum shifts down below 789.99 today. Alrighty, cool. Brad, AMC, buy, buy, buy. Brad, absolutely, my man. I don't know if you're joking or not joking or serious or not serious, but I am 100% serious when I say we will buy AMC, but only when it goes to the desired price target and or the low risk buying zone, which currently exists at 36 to 35. So we will buy only after it goes down to the low risk buying zone. Wait, watch this. You guys can't. Wait. See what I did there? See what I did there? Alrighty. What's next? Neo, Roku, who is we? Lafayette Genius learned so much here. Why aren't you going long on TLT? Why are you not going long on DLD? Who is we? When I say we, anybody who is following and or trading AMC, and if we are trading AMC. Neg, yeah, our mentions of Neg were basically it was probably going to be slightly confusing and hard to trade for most people. That's kind of what I came to the conclusion of. Dip before da rippy. When will the hedgies need to start to cover? I have absolutely no idea. Hedge funds have already covered. Citron Research, Melvin Capital, some others here or there. People have already been covering shorts on AMC. It's not like they haven't. I mean, how else do you think the price went from 9 to 70, right? So it's like that was already a short squeeze. You're just trying to squeeze it more. And that each squeeze there and after becomes harder and harder and harder because each squeeze thereafter you've already taken out people, right? Every time it squeezes, you take some out. Every time it squeezes, you take some out. So then there's just less people to theoretically squeeze. But again, there's other people online that are doing way more research, maybe using Ortex and here, this, that, trying to come up with the answers. But, I mean, my answer is it's overbought. It makes sense that it's coming down. And we're expecting $35 maybe today. TLT, yeah, I'll take a look. So I think TLT we had recommended was a dip buy not too long. I could be wrong. Let's see. No, this is not something we recommended as a dip buy. Excuse me. So yeah, I would probably say you're getting close to TLT starting to sell down. So you're probably gonna want to start flipping more to the bear side of TLT. Only in the relation to this trend. I believe that we're going to hit this trend here at 150, 170, and it's going to get ready to pull back. Yeah, that's what I kind of think is going to happen. What impact will Black Widow and Snake Eyes have on the movies on AMC, if any? So, probably not any. And the only reason I say that is because AMC, if it's in relation to AMC, AMC is AMC, which we all knew is a movie theater. So when they release a movie, that's kind of to be expected, considering that is really their sole purpose as a company is to provide movies for you to watch in the movie theater. So when one of those movies comes out, that's generally their typical business model. So really nothing special there. And then considering that there are just more people watching things from home than there are in the movie theaters, still down in my opinion. But they are doing some cool things like maybe doing live sports. If they can do something with live sports, gaming, they can definitely turn their business model around. I don't really see it being too challenging of a road ahead. Well, I mean, it's definitely challenging. But yeah, I mean, live sports, online gaming somehow. I mean, there's definitely things that they can do. But if their sole business model this day going forward is in relation to movies and coming out, then I just don't see it succeeding in the long run with the way technology is advancing. I mean, it's just not going to happen. So as long as they can change the business model around a little bit to create new streams of revenue, then I could see them doing yeah, pretty well in the future. 2, I see a bounce on Wish at all. Not true at all. So, not true, laugh out loud. People are tired of being home. They like to be out. It's the experience. 100%. AMC, going out to the movies, it is about the experience. 100% true. Absolutely. Which probably makes sense as to why. And going based off of that logic, which there's nothing wrong about it, you're completely right. But going off of that logic is not what got AMC from $34 a share down to $191. If people like to go out and it was about the experience, always and forever, and there's nothing really changing in the market about the way AMC is working, then I guess you could say it makes sense that they go from 34 down to 190. Interesting. Movie theaters aren't going anywhere. I mean, yeah, that could be true. I should probably go stop at the one down my street that closed down, went bankrupt. That would be a good idea. All right, but anyways, on to something more important, which is, what was it? Wish, sorry. So Wish is a stock that recently became popular. Maybe it was Wall Street Bets. I don't really know. But our recommended resistance kind of for the stock on Wish was that yellow box, right? That's where we had mentioned this is the resistance. You're only going to break out more if you can go through it. So for the time being, you would be bearish when you're at the yellow box. And you can see it's fallen apart since. We've come all the way down. We shorted it a couple days when it was going down. And then you don't even really have a good support system for right now. There's one down at 834. And I mean, for right now, I just have to say that the price of Wish is going to go down to $8. Because I don't really see any sort of support that the market's going to try to hold until here. So most people would look and go, oh, well, what about the support right here? It's like, that was support, right? I mean, I guess it could be, but when this was pulling back, this move on Wish pulled back, it was pulling back to a trend line to bounce, right? Wish is now pulling down, 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 down. It's not targeting the previous price action bottom. It's targeting a trend line. So that's, I would say, 7 to 8 times out of 10 where a price of a stock is going to is a previous trend line. Or sorry, is a trend line, not a previous price action bottom. Okay? 7 out of 10 times price is going to a trend, not to a previous price bottom. So since the trend exists below the price bottom, this would be a situation where we would look for support or what you think is support based off of previous price to actually break. No, I don't see AMC as a short squeeze play today. Yeah, so let's pop back on over to AMC really quickly. What time is it? 8:55. So we're going to run through AMC. We're going to try to be as detailed as we can possibly be. But in reality, there's not really all that much to say. The only thing that we really have to say is this green box, well, it's not green right now, but it will be in a second. Wait, yep, the rectangle, that guy, bing, bang, boom. So this one here, this green box, is ideally where we're looking to be long bias AMC, which then means we're pretty much bearish until AMC gets to there. Now, there's two ways that this could play out. There's only two ways that it ever plays out. It's either the price goes to or the trend line comes back up to. So it's either price just kind of magically hangs out and no one keeps selling and not enough people keep buying to the point where it just kind of goes like ho-hum, diddly-dum for the couple days. And this trend line will catch up to the price and then we bounce. Or the other option is the market does keep selling down, and instead of the trend line coming up to meet price, the price goes down to meet trend, and then we bounce. So we're really not looking to put any more money on the table long bias for AMC today until we're down to this price here. Yesterday, we didn't do anything on the long side until AMC got to this bottom. We traded along a little bit. Same kind of thing today, only looking for AMC to come down to this 36 price and then looking for a bounce in that area. This would be like way down the road. I don't think we have to go at this. Let me just double check one more thing here. I want to double check that. And there's one more thing that we could mention, which is down the road, and that's if AMC does not bounce this green box. That's an if, which is a pretty big if. If it doesn't, then you would expect the market goes down to 28, all right? If it breaks the green box, then you expect targets of 28. But that could also be slightly different too. It's probably a little, no, it would be 28. Okay, cool. So again, right now we're really only targeting down at 35, 36 area. That 38 is kind of like the what if, but that's a big if, okay? And the last thing I'll touch on is, let's see, your thoughts on EH and SPCE. So, excuse me, EH. So, EH, I feel like we looked at this a little bit ago. But anyways, I think we looked at EH not too long ago, and basically all these red lines on our chart we identified as being the resistance. So, EH, let me change it to the daily chart too. Yeah, so this is where the market, what the market's been doing for a lot of stocks recently is we've been going up to the regression levels and then breaking back away from them on many plays. It's just kind of seeming to be the thing right now in the market. So anyways, you will see we ran up to regression level, rejected, swinging back down. You'll notice that you kind of broke support here. That's a little mini support. Ideally, you wanted to hold the price of 36 to keep moving up in the immediate. You didn't. So your next target down was this level. So look, you broke 36. So then you swung down. Where to? The next dotted line, which is down at 30.79. So you're kind of on a dip buy level today. But again, I don't think it's going to hold up. I think the markets still have a good chance of going lower today or the next couple days. So we're going to see continuation on the downside for EH, and it's kind of it would be kind of a lot to call this out right now, but I'm going to say we even have the chance of seeing this down to 25.29. And it might not actually be 25.29 because after a couple days, this level could increase up to like 27. So it's better of me saying we could be seeing or going for the -1 deviation bounce or -1 deviation move, which then means the long bias move that you're looking for would exist when we bounce off the yellow trend line, which is at -1 deviations. And then we'll pop over to SPCE really quickly. So when SPCE was trading up here, we mentioned you should be bearish and or not buying the stock. It's too high risk to be getting long when it was up here the past couple days. The market is bearish right now, so I think you still kind of have to stay bearish on SPCE. SPCE has a half deviation price here at 40.57. So market goes bearish today. I would expect you're going to see SPCE continuing down and the first target being 40.60. So that would be the first target down for me today on SBC is down to 40.60. Let me check the daily chart too. Oh, the daily chart's got a level there. I didn't even know. So we probably held support there actually. Or maybe not. Oh, that's right. Kind of. Yeah. So yeah, the current like support level right now on SPCE is 41.30 and 40.60. But again, I think the market's going to try to swing down into those levels and potentially break them today. And you have the regression mean all the way down to like 35.20. So that being said, you still have a pretty big decrease back down to the statistical mean, which is really just the halfway point of all this movement, which is down at 35.50. Oh boy, no, will not be back on streaming later today. Got a busy schedule. I got to stop by one of my rental properties today and do a couple things, and then yeah, so won't be online today, but might be having a video out later today. We'll just see how the editing goes, but anyways, I will catch everybody back bright and early tomorrow morning. With that being said, appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure to hit the thumbs up button before you go. It does help our streams and our channel become slightly more popular, so we'd hope for that. Appreciate you guys, and I'll see you guys on the next video.